So 6 months ago or so, I found myself in the third sub-basement of Hadassah Hospital in Kerem, waiting in the hall, in the corridor. Ava was having some tests, and I was just waiting. It was taking a very long time. And every now and then the nurse would come out and call the next patient, and it seemed very busy. People were upset. Sitting across from me on a bench was a little old man. I talk about little old men as if I'm not, but he looked old to me, so I don't know. I don't know what he was. And he wasn't in very good health because, he was in the cancer ward of a hospital. And he looked kind of thin and emaciated, and he had an IV tube and some other tubes. And he looked rather weak, and he was smiling and singing and humming nigunim, and very infectious. And he's humming nigunim, and I'm waiting on my bench for the next patient to be called, for things to move along. And the nurse comes out, and she calls the next patient. Kohen, Yitzchak Kohen, Mar Kohen, Ababator. And he wasn't there, or he didn't answer, so she kept calling up, Kohen, Kohen, Kohen. And the little old guy sitting across from me started this section. The HaKohanim, right? And he looked at me to take the next line, right? He didn't know me, but he was hoping that at this very, moment of his, an important moment for him in his recuperation, I hope, he would have the company of some Jew who knew what he was doing. The HaKohanim, and he wanted me to be someone who knew the response. And I said, And how does it go on? Kohanim v'ha'am ha'omdim ba'asara. All the people in the, and I'm translating loosely here, in the corridor. Shehayu shom'im et Hashem hanichbad v'hanora. When they would hear the name of God called, they would fall on their faces. And we sang this liturgy together. He was very happy. And I was delighted. I was there at the right moment to be able to respond to his prayer, and that there were at least 2 people in the hospital who knew how to daven Musaf on Yom Kippur, and knew the words and the lyrics and the tunes. And all of a sudden I had this image in my head, and the image flipped a little bit, so it's not exact. But it's not Mar Kohen who's waiting in the corridor, waiting to be called, but it's the Holy One waiting to be called. And in my imagination, it's not in the basement of a hospital, but it's at the DMV, right? And everybody's waiting to be called and into their own thing. And among them is the Holy One, the Kadosh Baruch Hu, who's saying, won't somebody please call me? So that we can respond, he can respond, so that God can respond. And I had this notion of God sitting on a bench, waiting to be next in line, the next patient to be called, hoping that things will move along and finally we'll get to God's turn. And we'll be able to call God. I know how to do that. In fact, I know God's phone number, and I will tell you what it is. Sometimes a thought pops into your head that says, there's this person, Rivka or Shimon, whoever it is, I haven't seen them in 40 years. I'm not sure they're alive. And it would be nice to reconnect, but it's been so long. I don't know if they want to talk to me. I don't know if they're interested, and I don't want to make a big bar mitzvah out of it. I just want to say hello and say I'm thinking of you. And you put it away. You push it off. That's God waiting to be called, not in heaven, but in the hearts of our friends. And when that thought pops into your head, swallow your pride and your fear and your embarrassment and pick up the phone and call your friend and say, for no good reason that I can think of, I was thinking fondly of you and I just wanted to say hi. You do that often enough, God also will respond, I'm next in line.